This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live daily recap. If you are just watching after the recording, I would go to basically the 7-minute mark. That's when we're going to get into it. For the next couple of minutes, we're going to let people kind of filter their way in. And if you're watching this and picking this up later, watching the live recap, the 7-minute mark is approximately when this should get going. Letting people kind of filter in, see how it all goes. A lot to talk about. Again, can I get a mic check? Everyone hear this? See? We good to go? Looks good on my end. Just wanted to make sure everybody is Gouda. Are we Gouda? All Gouda. Audio capture check. Display capture check. Check, check, check. Perfect. Okay here. Again, hopefully everyone's having a great day. This is pretty simple stuff, but people like to make it difficult. It's a little tricky too when you're looking at the Stock Trader's Almanac and you go, well, Monday should be bullish. And it's like, not always. That's why the Almanac is there. That's why you got to overlook sometimes the daily stuff depending on where you're at in the market, because August is typically weak. Now that it's up, do you think it's going to sustain? It's funny, I got a lot of folks talking about third quarter, yada, 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 going to be great. Best quarter in 90 years. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's only August. Don't put the cart before the horse here. This quarter is not over. Not over by any means. None. Zero. Anyone got any questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas? I appreciate you guys taking the time to share this with your friends. Trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. That would be pretty cool. At 983 last I checked. Not far. I feel like we've done a lot of good helping folks out, keeping them aware of what's going on. Again, I really think that FinTwit, StockTwit, whatever avenue that you pick up your trading knowledge information from, I always warn people, there's a reason why 90% plus traders fail. And if they're all looking at the same stuff that leads to failure, what are the odds that you're going to fail doing what they do, right? Not rocket science. So come on in, get cozy. We're going to start this in 4 minutes. If you have any questions or concerns, drop a comment. I can read them. I'll try to do my best to make this equivalent to the daily market recap. Unfortunately, I got some things going on this afternoon, and I'd rather you guys have it early and just see what's going on, because we're just going to rehash all the evidence. We're really going to go through the charts. I don't know how long this video will be. I'm probably going to limit it to ultimately 45 minutes of just chat, and then maybe go on after if people have questions, because at this point it's pretty obvious the average person who bought the dip continues to now get trapped in these gap downs, and there's going to be some levels we got to talk about where the market could bounce, because you got the Feds in Jackson Hole. If you've never been to Jackson Hole, worth checking out. If you ever want to do some fishing, stop by the Teton Valley Lodge on the Idaho side. The Jackson snake fishing is absolutely garbage compared to the South Fork or the Henry's Fork. So, did you read this chat for your YouTube comments or main chat? I don't know what this person's asking in the Discord room. And if you're newer to the channel, again, we're always in the Discord room, hanging out, talking. A lot of people posted a ton of articles over the weekend that I tried to warn them, like, clear the noise. Clear the noise. Ultimately, you have to be what? Dependent upon the evidence. If you're looking at opinions from all spectrum of people, it's just brutal. Like, people who are regulars, leave comments. Y'all know, like, I am always telling you, guard your mind like you would a child from danger. Because if you are filling your mind with other people's opinions and thoughts on the market, you can't ignore it. It's just, you can't unlisten and unhear and unsee the information that's out there. And if we know that the market maker is what? Trying to take your money, then keep in mind that 90% of the information plus is just complete hot garbage. Hot garbage. Do y'all get that? That's why people, I love you guys who try to post these articles, but I don't read them. I don't read a single one of them. It's not that I don't respect you're taking the time to post them. I don't care. Again, the charts speak louder than opinions. Hopefully that becomes very apparent. So we're going to start this in a minute. But I hope that helps. There's always a ton of people just doing the wrong things. You're so close. Someone's ready, set, sell was like talking about swing that breaks from caring about intraday trades. Yeah, always. I tell people day trading is for cookies. Swing trading is for the money. So we're going to start this here in 20 seconds. Get cozy. Get out a notepad. Write out the levels because that's what we're going to talk about. Because if you're short, remember, this is potentially wave 3, but it also is going to be volatile. The VIX means what? Higher moves each way. So, all right. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live daily market recap for Monday, August 22nd, 2022. A lot of twos there. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Checked out the weekend recap. Again, if you're new to the channel, please check out the Discord room. Link is in the description below. Remember, this channel is built for traders who have experience but cannot necessarily put everything together fully. Because again, usually most people do what in trading? They win, they lose, they win, they lose, and ultimately look back and they're exactly where they started. That's not the point of trading. It's ultimately to run this like a business, to be very tactful, very smart about how you enter, exit, when you trade, stay away from over trading, all those little things we talk about all the time. Again, there's tons of information in the channel. Back to basics, side room. The YouTube channel is full of education. If you're not checking out the educational videos, I don't know what to tell you. Again, think about this from the perspective of if you are going to be a professional trader and you think you can, then what do you need to do? You need to treat this like a profession. If I told you showed up to work and you didn't have to do any work and you just expect to be good, that doesn't make sense. So why do people do that with trading, right? Like, this just boggles my mind. People just think they're going to show up and gamble and throw darts and hope to win. We don't do that. All right, let me take a sip of coffee and let's just jump into this. Please reserve comments that are not related to the stocks we're talking about till the end. I'll probably leave this open for another 20 minutes at the close, and then we'll go from there. So do we even want to talk about Bitcoin? I feel bad trying to warn people, but they don't seem to understand what the market is not your friend. The market is not your friend. Digital currencies, gold, whatever it is, nothing is safe. I say this all the time and nobody listens. They're always looking for the one-off. What's going to go up if the market goes down? Well, why don't you just trade what's going to go down with the market? So, all right, Bitcoin. Man, we are living on a prayer. Channel low, swing zone high. Absolute pain potentially. I don't know what to tell folks, because this is the thing. When the market starts unwinding, you have to be very cognizant that nothing is safe. I say this every video, and if you're newer, you need to hear this. Nothing is safe. Margin calls, redemptions, mutual fund selling, people trying to lock in their yearly performance bonuses, all that stuff. Once you get to a certain point in certain times of the year, there's no reason to hold. Like these folks who sell in May and go away, or held on to stuff and are waiting to reevaluate in the third quarter, well, guess what? If it starts peeling like the onion, everyone's crying. And they're going to get out. And it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin. Now, oil and gold, let's talk about this, because we got into oil. People are like, oh, I want to go long oil. And it's like, man, you got to be super, super duper careful. Super. Thanks for asking. Get that reference. Look where we're at. We're just funneling our way lower. Now, again, I said this over and over and over. Nothing's safe. Even Occidental Petroleum. Please be safe. Nothing is safe. Nothing. TLT. What have we said? The bond market leads the stock market in these scenarios because the market does not want to see higher rates, because then that would show the Fed was actually pivoting if rates were going lower and the TLT was going higher. All that is out the window. We've warned folks who listen to the what? They listen to the never-ending noise. Fed pivot. No, they're not. Look at the bond market. Rates were going higher. Trying to warn folks, but they just don't listen. Whatever. The dollar. How many times did we say, higher dollar, market's not going to like it? If the Feds are pivoting, why is the dollar going higher? Said this 1,000 times. The dollar doesn't die a death where it just falls off a cliff. No, it dies the typical way. Moonshot to the moon. Dollar. Remember, think about it. Demand or currency destruction around the world, debt destruction all the world. When they're scared, what are they going to buy? Countries with the best military. The dollar has it. Now, again, debatable. I mean, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but just in general, it's always been safe. Not the euro. You want to buy the euro? I don't. Do you want to buy the yuan? No, I don't want. You want to buy yen? You want to buy anything? Oh, the VIX. What did we say? It's got to hold this 1920 level. Higher highs, higher lows. That's how a bear market starts, with the VIX compressing to higher highs and higher lows. Look at the monthly. Very similar setup. Just chop, chop, chop before what? Chop, chop, chop before the spike. Now, how high does the VIX go? We're going to talk about it, because the first spike into the 30s might be time to take some profits on the short-term trades. Keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that right now as we get into SPY. Ooh, making lows of the day. Whoa, time to go. Hold on. I didn't realize the water was boiling. Let me turn the heat down just a second. All right. Talk about the setups, right? We talked about there was there's three potential setups. The short arm, which I always say short arming a spot is like everybody's looking for an area, say it's a round number, say it's a moving average, and it doesn't get there. That was one scenario. We hit the 200-day. Perfect. That's another. Third, we go to like 435 and then fail. Keep in mind, bear market rallies average somewhere around 17.4%. We were up 17.6. Not rocket science. We'll look at this. We talked about Friday. That gap down was a trap. All of those days wiped out. Now you've got weeks of time getting wiped out, right? Now bulls are tapping out. That's, not really. They don't tap out at the highs. Keep that in mind. The way that the market pulls people into the game does what? It gets them to start believing that buy and hold is back. This is not retail tapping out. This is big money, smart money. When we talk about the volume will start increasing on the backside, that's what typically is. Keep in mind, it is the summer, so the volume is going to be a little lighter, but think about it, right? Who has the ability to move the market? This isn't little fries selling. This isn't little fries taking the gap down. So if you think the bulls, in the sense of, are tapping out, no, it's just the start of wave 3. That's my guess. And what does that mean? I've said this over and over, and again, I'll repeat it for newer folks, because there's always newer folks popping in. The channel's so small. At some point, we're going to cut all this off, and it's going to get private. And probably all be free, because again, I want you guys to start feeding me trades. Wave 1, no one knows it's a bear market. They just think it's what? Just a correction. Wave 2, it hits the bear market levels and it bounces, and everyone's like, see, it was only a 20% plus correction. Game back on. Wave 3 starts what? Oh, crap. Because now what happens if you're big money? You're seeing what? These lower highs. You're seeing these lower highs going, crap. And so wave 3, and again, I'm not a wave theory person, but I like the wave theory of psychology. Not Elliott wave, because Elliott wave is total hot garbage. Trying to fit the waves to the percentages and the numbers you want. The psychology is all you need to worry about in wave theory. The third wave, think about it. No one believes it. People are sorry, suspect, but it's like, hey, look, it got invalidated. Oh, snap. That's when it turns. And people are like, oh, how are you calling it a bear market? And it's like, how do you not see it's a bear market? Zoom out. The last gas was a straight line move. Here's like your wave 1. You can't even do waves on this. It's nice and calm. Here's maybe wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. No, it's not even that. The straight line moves. What do we talk about? The straight line moves and markets, right? Remember, talked about the dollar literally 2 minutes ago. The dollar will blow out before it dumps. We talked about getting to the 420s. It even went a little above it, right? Here's your point of control. Do y'all see it on the monthly? I love the monthly charts. People love the 10-minute. I love the monthlies, because then I can sit here and game plan out bigger moves. Talked about getting over the 20-month. Did it twice. Hit up. Now what? Looks a little ugly. Check out the weekly. What do you see? Short arm of the 50-month. Is that bullish? No, my friend. Not at all, man. And people just, again, you got to parrot what you know. And most people don't know what the heck is going on. They're reading the news. They're going, the feds are going to pivot. They're on stock twits. They're on FinTwit. They're on twit. And they're going, well, everyone else said this, so this is okay. Well, again, do you want to be a lemon? Or do you want to do what the smart money's doing? Most people just, they find comfort on their own. And as Livermore would say, being the lone wolf is where you know that you know. And so we talked about it. OPEX, you remember, we talked about when are tops and bottoms. Anyone have a guess? Of course, During OPEX or what? First, last 3 trading days of the month. Well, here was your OPEX top. Doesn't mean we can't retest later. So this is what I need to talk about. So where's the SPY probably going to hold? If it spikes, the VIX spikes into upper 20s to 30s. It's probably this gap fill, but then a little lower. I've said 410 to 407. That might be a little, let me tighten it up. That's kind of what I'm thinking right in there. Do y'all see that? So put that in your book. Oh, but well, that's not an exact point. It's like, well, no, because we don't know. When the VIX starts spiking, what happens? It's emotional. If you're trying to bring a ruler to a game that's like totally irrational, people are just going nuts. Yeah, dude, you're killing yourself. You're really going to hurt yourself trying to say, well, it has to get to this level to get to that. No, then you'll take some off. Trade around your core position. Said this over and over. You layer into trades, you layer out. The more you're up, the less you own. But that doesn't mean, okay, well, if it's a bigger trend, it doesn't always drop in a straight line. If it does, well, great. There'll be other bounces. But what have we talked about? Here you go. Drop, pop. Drop, pop. That pop is when you can honestly get aggressive. And I mean short-term aggressive. BE aggressive. Right? You know, like the cheerleading song. That's the most aggressive. Because up here we are aggressive. But again, I'm buying time. I'm buying all time. If you have puts, you're shorting the market, you have time. You're not going, oh, it has to happen by August 26th. No. I got October, December stuff. I got all forever. Forever never seems so long. But no, my point being is, all right, now we're below the 20-day. It's probably going to start peeling the onion a little more. What is tomorrow? Turnaround Tuesday. If the Feds are going to be meeting in Jackson Hole, what do you think is going to come out this week? The Feds are going to pivot. The Feds are going to... No, they're not. And it's actually better if the market does hold up, because then what? That means they don't feel like, what? They have to pivot, right? If the markets are just chopping around, they're just going to talk and they'll be like, oh, the markets are volatile. It happens. But remember, QT supposedly starts in September. Seasonality. Ugly stuff. Qs. Remember, what have we said? What's the best trade out there? Short tech, short tech, short tech. Consult with your financial advisor to confirm such, and they're going to tell you never sell, but that was, to me, the best trade. And again, I'm not advising anybody. I'm just giving you evidence. What did we say? The Qs were never going to get to the 200-day. Not even close. Back tested this trend line. Look, doji, gap down, double doji, gap down, bigger gap down. Is this bullish action? No, not at all. What have we said? How do you know the QQQs are done, Dan? How do you know it's game over? Well, man, you tell me if this mountain... Do we remember this molehill? Well, here's the mountain. And what have we said? It couldn't even... Like, once you get below the 20-month in the trend, on a bigger trend, it's game over. You're not even getting close. The point of control is up in the, what, 330s, 320s? I think it became Bay Matumbo swinging that finger. No. No, you got nothing. Look at this monthly. It's probably going to be what? Slightly red. That's where people are like, oh, this is going to be a great quarter. It's like, well, a quarter's 3 months. Don't put July, don't put baby on the pedestal kind of thing, put baby in the corner. Like, yeah, no. However you want to analogize that. But no, the quarter's not over, folks. And that's where, the more bullish, and I said this over time, the more bullish the market acts, but then when it starts failing and no one knows why, the better. Because what? The why sometimes comes later. This is what traps people, is that they don't use stops. They don't have discipline. They go, I'm waiting for the why. The why could be 20 more points lower. The why could never be a why. It just could be what is. That's why trading's so hard. People are like, well, I need to figure out when to sell Bed Bath & Beyond. Why? When do I need to sell? Take the profits. Then Ryan Cohen comes out, oh, no, it's not that bad. Gone. IWM, what do you talk about? Leads the market. You tell me. We talked about getting over the 200-day. Does this look bullish under the 20-day? Take your profits. You got to run. You got to go. Got to get it all out. Well, what's probably going to be the support, right? 187. We talked about that area previously, right? This 187, 190, 189, whatever. 187. Murder, right? Not good. And I mean, murder for the market. Like, it could get... That's where it's like, man, if the market has one more bad day down, maybe it's done for the week. It chops around. Because what are the Feds going to try to do? Reassure you, my dad, your family, everybody reads the news going, well, the market's not that bad. Look at it. Look what the feds are saying. And again, we love all these people, but they're naive as crap when it comes to what's going on with the market, right? We all agree? Talking to the average person, it's like you get in that, I love taking Ubers and somebody's like, oh, you trade the market. I'm like, yeah, I know a little bit about it. And they're like, oh, man, I'm buying Tesla. And I'm like, okay, Burr. Okay. All right, let's run through gold real quick because people just, somebody in the Discord, remember, saved a comment if Lupus is in here. And we talked about, all right, it's probably going to bounce, but do you want to buy it? No, because why? There's no volume. Capitulation. Remember, the market maker is a liquidity-driven game. The market is. If you don't understand that, think about it. Why would anyone mark up gold when there was no liquidity? There was no blowout, right? Here was them selling every share possible of the GLD, selling all the gold possible. Now it's back at the lows. It should be puking. They want retail. They want you and I to puke, like, yeah, that kind of puke. And what have we said? Gold is the king of retesting. The king. The king is back. Double bottom. Double bottom. Double bottom. Double bottom. Double bottom. Double top. Double top. Double-licious. No, I mean, do you get my point? It typically retests. And I hope this makes sense. So let's get into silver. Purgatory. Leave it alone. I mean, think about it. If you were new to the channel, or even if you're not, look at all the FinTwit never-ending crap about silver. Buy gold, buy silver. That's not how you bottom. That's how you top. Remember literally last week you couldn't find a bear. All wiped out. Then it falls. Gold, silver have not bottomed because why? It's not hated. It's not hated. It's like, Jerry, it's not hated. Jeez, Kramer. It's just not. There's way too much love for this stuff. There's no volume down here. I want to see absolute capitulation. Absolute capitulation. And what do we talk about? When the Feds pivot, then you buy silver. Here you go. Here was the Fed pivot in 2008. Have the Feds pivoted? No. Here's our potential downside, but guess what? If the market becomes irrational, so will the price. 17s could go to 12. Could go to 9 real quick. Because that's when you get the puke. That's when the market maker just goes, it's like Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood. I drink your milkshake. I drink it all. Give it to me. We're not there yet. GDX, please leave this alone. In the next cycle for miners and gold, the juniors acting way better already. Big dogs, leave them alone. Notice how we couldn't even get up to the May high. Check out the GDX. Got to the May high. Did I say high? I meant low. Sorry, May low. May low. Ray low, like a watch. Watch this. Yeah, Ray low in Spanish. Watch this. Here you go. Much better. Coming back down, same thing. All of these names. I'm going to do them real quick. Sell. All right, next sector. No, AG, leave it alone. Probably going down to the 6s. AM, this is the one exception. Why? Because it had volume. Shh, don't tell anybody. Look at this. That's capitulation. Now you should hope for what? Pray for a retest. Okay? That one's on my radar. Newmont. Sold on its earnings. I mean, they're going to have to go on a buying spree to get multiple expansion. Leave it alone. Making lower lows. Gone. PAAS. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Look at that. It says earnings. You think someone would be there to buy it. No. I mean, we can run through all of these names. I'm just telling you right now, leave them alone. Materials, same thing. What is going to be the next bull market? It's going to be commodities. It's going to be commodities. It's going to be commodities. Hence why we short tech now. Now people are like, oh, I got to get in on the commodity train now. Nothing is safe. I say it nicely, but they don't listen. I got to buy U.S. Steel and hold it. I'm like, it's coming back. It's coming back. We talked about the 200-day. Roll over, doggy. Ruff, ruff. Roll over. Here you go. Nucor. We're going to run through all these real quick. Roll over. Here you go. Pop up. Roll over. Went higher than I thought it would. Roll over. Good boy. Here's a bone. CCJ, uranium names. If there's any uranium folks, you guys are prime suspects of what? Gold delirium, silver delirium, market gonna take you higher. The fundamentals. No one would argue the fundamentals for uranium look amazing if we actually are going to build more nuclear power plants, because guess what? Oil and gas are not the future. They are what? basically the transition step. I've said this, it's going back to the smoking or driving age. Oh, now it doesn't make sense. People are going to be like, it doesn't make sense. Well, your stops should make sense. Somewhere in the 16, 18, you can see it on the monthly better. Down into here. Maybe even the 50 month. Again, when the market peels like the onion, everyone starts crying. Ain't nothing safe. There is nothing safe. It's just too bad. Because, I mean, again, these people are going to be waiting early. It's like you've got to the park. There's a basketball game at some point, and you're here 8 hours before the game starts. You could have been doing a lot of other things. But that's what people do. They just say, FOMO. FOMO is real, but nobody understands like how to alleviate FOMO. We can talk about it at the end. It's pretty simple. VALE talked about this little hammer coming back down to 10-11 range. People are like, oh, I got to go value investing. Remember, U.S. Steel trades at like 2 PE. Can someone confirm that? What's the PE ratio on letter X? I mean, I think it is 2. Maybe 3. Oh, value trap. Not until the multiples expand. And when's that going to happen? In a commodities bull market. Arrow. All right, you got volume at the lows, right? We all agree. Put this on your radar in the 8s. Mosaic. Again, the ag names are up today, but I don't trust them. That's a nice candle, but it feels like very distributive. You know, you hold the 20-day, you pop. You're not getting over that. You're not getting over the 55s. And if you do, even nothing safe. Sorry. I'm just sorry. So sorry. It just is what it is. Now, here's the name if you're looking at ag stuff. Anybody confirm X PE ratio? This one is the one that's got the volume. See, here's the double bottom. We talked about this. I've said this every video. Just put this on your radar. That's stopping power. That's confirming the stopping power. That's confirming it as well. Now you've been acting much better. You're closer to the 52-week highs. Is Mosaic? No. No. All right, let's get into tech because this is the easiest trade. We talked about last week, short tech. Now, again, I'm not recommending this. You have to do your own due diligence, but we talked about the levels. We talked about the Goldman Sachs upgrade, buddy pass. Hey, buddy, hey, pal, hey, guy. This is what they do. They upgrade it so they can sell to their friends can unload. And then clients will buy. And then here we talked about lower high. Or no, sorry. That was, yeah, they got this. Apple got a buddy pass last week. Then what's lower lows, lower highs? People are talking about buying AMD. I'm seeing dude, I love FinTwit because they're talking about buying calls. Yes, the X is a 1.33. It's crazy. People talking about buying calls. I'm like, okay. Absolutely. You guys, now keep in mind, like FinTwit is not going to be saying it's time to buy calls at the bottom. Just letting you know that, right? Like, keep in mind, those people no. Hey, first thing, never buy calls on the first bottom in a washout. Why? Because the VIX will be, 50, 60, 70. IB will come in. No, it's sell puts, buy stock, wait for the retest, or high or low. Then you buy calls because the implied volatility will shrinkage. You guys and gals know what shrinkage is? You should. If you don't, well, talk to your partner. Might need a Viagra for that. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's the reality. That's what happens to the premiums on your puts and calls. If you buy when the VIX is overpriced, and then what happens? It's literally in the Black-Scholes model, how they price options. It will come in. Shrinkage. So, time is to sell puts, right? When the VIX is in the 90, you sell to puts. You sell to puts, brah. Then you buy the calls on the high or low or the retest. And you might not get a retest. It just depends. But I can guarantee you that if you hold it, if you buy the calls and you're quick, good. But if you're not, and you just wait it, you'll be down money, even though the stock might be points above where you bought in and got in. How do I know? I've done it. I've executed that. It didn't work out well. SMH. Talked about double top. Talked about the point of control. I've told you folks a million times, if you don't realize semiconductors become almost like a commodity at the end of a bull market in tech, everyone makes great chips. Now they start undercutting each other, cutting pricing, comes an absolute slaughterfest. Here you go. Now 90%. Now goes nowhere for 10 years. Look at this. You're telling me you want to buy semiconductors for the long run? Well, then guess what? Fails at the point of control around the 240s. I just feel bad for you. If you hold this stuff, leave me a comment if you plan on holding this stuff, because I'm going to take note and I'm going to send you something in the mail, and it's going to be a weekly reminder. Maybe email. I'll start an email list of weekly reminders like, you could have sold at 240. You could have sold at 240. You could have sold at 240. No. Sorry. I mean, it's just the same thing. Tesla. I mean, I don't know. Let's get into Apple. Yeah, price to book. It could cheap. The people don't realize, like, cheap gets cheaper in a bear market. That's how it works. Apple monthly. Oh, I'm gonna send out listserv reminder. I'm gonna set out a reminder every week. You could have sold for 170s. We talked about this is the point of control of the trend line. Here's what I thought would happen on the SPY, but it happened on the Apple. Remember how we talked about 3 scenarios? Short arm, exact, go a little higher. Well, here you go. Here was the point of control and the gap fill at what? 174. You went up to what? 176. Oh, but Dan, you weren't perfect. No, we weren't perfect up here shorting either, but it worked out okay. Now what? Going lower. I mean, keep in mind, this is wave 3. How much lower should it go? I mean, I don't think you really see support in Apple to win. Maybe the 20-day? This 166, 165 area, but then what? 200-day? I mean, keep in mind, there wasn't like days of like, I keep saying like a little kid. There wasn't days of support. This trend has no support in it, right? Like there's no 3 like multi-day week chop zones. No, it's just stair step up very quickly. Every time they get violated, boom, wipe out, next lower. That's how it works. If you don't think Apple's a short and you're going to hold it for the long run, well, guess what? That's your problem, not mine. Because I'm telling you right now, this is how this stuff ends. This is how this ends. Please don't ask me about PLTR. Didn't I say nicely, wait till the end? I don't want to talk about these piece of junk stocks that you're buying, especially your ape stocks. How's that AMC? How's that Bed Bath & Beyond? I told you folks that all that stuff gets wiped out, completely, utterly destroyed. But people will continue to hold their meme stocks. It's just sad, man. It really is. It makes me sad to think about. Microsoft, we talked about the 200-day, the 285 to 294. That's a wide range. Well, guess what? One day, all turns around. Here you go. You want to hold Microsoft for the long run, Mr. Softy, point of control. No, the stock, people don't learn their lessons. The stock went nowhere after the tech bubble. Nowhere. I can't even find it. Nowhere. It took you how many years to get even? It took you 17 years. Do you want to trade like that? Is that how you invest? Because again, you might want to be like the Rip Van Winkle trader. You should go to sleep and wake up in 20 years. Because then maybe you'll be back to even. Maybe someone will do better than Microsoft. We don't know. Just don't know. People just, whatever. They just do what they're going to do. Meta. Here it can turn into held. Remember we talked about it was going to hold this longer term channel trend line. That's why I said for weeks and weeks watch 155, and it did what? Held it. Now we get up to what? We see a retest, right? Oops. Peeling like an onion. Hear all the crying. You hear the crying, I hear it. Tesla. Unreal. People just don't realize. You're hitting the fibs. Let me redo these fibs since we're zoomed in a little tighter, and you can see the exact 0.618. Yeah, of course you've got ape shares because you do exactly what everyone else does, and it ultimately leads to losses. I guarantee Apes R Us probably has a $200 account, and if not, he probably turned $200 into $2 million, and he's going to use that $400. And I'm not trying to be mean, but that's what happens. Market's out here to pay you. So we talked about this 0.618 in the 940s. Why? We don't know. We just saw this. Here was earnings. The reaction right here. Remember, this is earnings, and then you couldn't get over it. Boom. Now under the 20-day, going lower. Going lower. Yeah, you got ape shares. Great. You've got lottery tickets. Good luck. I hope you scratch and sniff something that's a win. I really hope it wins for you. I just don't think it is, my friend. Let's get into Roblox. We'll do NDAQ last. Free money. It's not free money if you lose it all. It's unreal. I could debate these folks for years because they don't realize like this happened in every single bull cycle. Oh, let's hold the bank stocks. Let's hold the housing stocks. Let's hold the tech stocks in the 2000s. Now let's hold the meme stocks forever. Unreal. Roblox. We talked about things that you don't see as the market's bullish. What? You get into the 50s, backing off. Look at that. That's just utterly ugly. NDAQ. Joking with my dad this morning because he's like, "Aren't you short a bunch of it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "It's up $1. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?" I'm like, "I don't know. Here's your wave cresting. Hits the monthly, like the long-term trend line. Now it's down $1. I think at one point it was up at 187 something. Yeah, it's turning over. Unreal. Like again, just give yourself time. Oh, what's it going to do? And again, this is the hardest part for traders and people who have limited experience. Good luck trying to guess what's going to happen for 6.5 hours. I don't care. I want to see the open and the close. What's going to happen intraday is actually a joke. Absolutely a joke. Like if you're trying to predict every intraday move, you are wasting emotional mental capital. You could literally have something much better to do than to lose money trying to roll dice. Yeah, 4140. I mean, again, that doesn't even really matter to me. I said, what, 410? 410. That to me matters more on the spot. We'll get into that. Like, stick around. Let's get through these stocks. Let's not be distracting. NASDAQ, going nowhere. EXPI, fundamentals are amazing on the stock and company. How do I know? Because I work there. All public knowledge. Here's your ape. I'm a EXPI ape, right? Ugh. No, I'm not. I know my stock that I get as options are worthless. And I'm not going to pretend they're not. I guess it's a double negative. UTHR, what? Unreal. Unreal people just don't listen. I'm like, it's a head and shoulders top. Here's your right shoulder. It's going lower. Oh, it hit the monthly channel high. No, let's just hold it out. We got to get that extra penny. I got to get 250, Dan. Then I'll sell. Good luck. Good luck. XBI this morning, people in the Discord board. Oh, why is Lab D down and XBI up? I don't know. But if you shut up, looked at the charts and just shorted because the trend is your friend, now it's down. Oh, but it's going to hold this level here. Well, it could. Yeah, 83, 85, I don't know. You can see that this was resistance. I'll just draw it in for the people who are shorting this and just unsure. Probably could bounce somewhere in here. But now if you're trying to guess every 6.5 hours of the day, I wouldn't care. I would look at the bigger trend and go, it broke the 20-day. Well, what 20-day usually was the 100-day. Where's the 100-day? 79. Oh, does it have to hit there today? Nope. But people are going to be like, got to do it. Got to stick around. Got to hold to that. Got to get every penny. I got to like trade it. It's going higher. I got to sell. No, they're trying to spin your head so you don't realize what's going on. Oil. Said this earlier at the USO. Like, just leave it alone, man. It's holding up well. Geopolitically, it could go higher. So if you're shorting it, good luck. If you're long it, good luck. Because again, if a recession, Feds tighten, all this stuff, demand destruction. Not gas. What have we said about it? This is one. Nobody remembers except for me. And trust me, I'll remember your trades. Because that's what I do. I remember everything. I have elephant memory. If it creates an emotion, I'll remember it. We talked about retesting. Now it's over it. We talked about buying it here. Remember that day? Some of y'all, we made hundreds of % on some short-dated options. Because we said, oh, if it holds this area, very clear as day, you could put a stop. Then it retested, making new highs. At this point, what? Feds are really loving natural gas higher. You think Europe is enjoying higher gas prices? No, they aren't. What's going on with the TLT? It's coming back a little bit. Market's starting to get a little squirrely. XOP. What have we said? Somewhere in the 140s. Look at that. Chopping up here. Here's your shoulders. Interesting that it made the left shoulder had a lower high. Right shoulder has a higher high on the outside. So it's like a octopus, multi-tentacled head and shoulders top. I'm just making stuff up. Just watch this area because, again, people are like, oh, Occidental Petroleum. You see what Buffett's doing? Buffett just sold calls to all you fools who bought them. I guarantee Buffett's selling. Buffett is literally making the market. He's like, guys, whoever the market maker is for Occidental, he's like, take a week off. I'm going to sell calls. You guys just keep pumping this. I'm going to sell calls. But every retail idiot's going, you see that? He's buying Occidental. He's got 50%. It's going to the moon. No, Buffett wants the whole business, and he likes to sell calls. He doesn't care. He's not trying to trade meme stocks. Guy's a genius. Anyway, if you got any questions, stop by the Discord room. I'm going to keep this running for folks who want to stick around. I appreciate everybody. Again, if you were making money, please look into real estate as your best hedge against inflation. If rates go higher, inflation goes higher. And if you buy now and the rates are at 7% or 6%, 5%, you can refinance later if things get worse. Right now is the best time to buy. Not like today, but in general, it's a buyer's market. Sellers now are realizing no one is left around to buy. And then what? You have all the negotiating power. You're able to steal something, 50, 60, 100,000, $200,000 off because you're the only one buying. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room, hit me up. Love to help you out. Again, let me find you an agent in this country that can actually deal investment deals, because not all agents are equal, just like not all traders, not all mentors, not all teachers, not everything. You need to find the best, because again, they become your point person for finding great real estate investment properties. All right, I'm going to let this go. Talk to you guys and gals later. Stick around. Boop, 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 stop recording. All right, who's got questions? Anybody but apes or us, because I really think that I'm trying to remember who this person is and how did I piss them off, because they love to just troll with the dumbest comments. And when I mean dumbest, I mean, yeah, this is going to keep streaming, but it's just bad. I feel bad for the guy. That's what the market's going to do. It's search and destroy. It's a money-taking game. It's a money-taking game. The stream is going to continue on. We can talk for this, but you don't realize, like, in the end, you all get wiped out. That's what it does. And if people don't want to admit that, then that's because you're naive. I have traded what you could equivalent to meme stocks in the past. And you know why I don't trade them? What's up, Kat? It's because I'm more worried about what I can lose. Y'all folks that are worried about trying to get rich, guess what? If you do the fundamentals right, you do things right over and over and over, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. But if you try to get rich gambling, good luck. Maybe you'll hit. It's not repeatable. That's the whole point. Man, every time I think about the first starting and trading, like making great money in the dot-com bubble, thinking it was easy, poof, lost it all, and right back to where I started. And the amount of money that I made seemed life-changing. And then I was like, oh, crap. Gave it all back. That's what people in meme stocks are going to do. They're going to be sitting here in 10 years from now going, buy AMD. And it's going to be a penny stock. Hey, it's one of these days. GameStop. Do you know they're manipulating? One day there's going to be the squeeze of squeeze and it's going higher? I don't know, man. It's the same people who held on to the tech bubble stocks, the same who held on to the banking, housing, oil stocks after 2000. You got absolutely wiped out to believe it. I mean, this stock used to be the bread and butter of trading for me. Transocean. Look at this in the 2000s. $4 stock, right? Where did it come from? Where did you go? Something from Cotton Eye Joe. This thing was a beast. This thing was a beast. In the bull market, look at that. Got up to $1.70. Now it's $3. You're telling me you're going to hold this? You talked about a double bottom and gold, but also tell it like it's going lower. Do you mean a bounce after the big wipeout? All right. Let's talk about gold, because that is a little confusing. I apologize. It's the king of double bottoming. So at worst, you're going to get a retest. That's what I was trying to infer from that, right? Can we not infer from gold that at worst it retests? Well, what happens typically after if the market capitulates and wipes out, right? Nothing's safe. So how low could gold go? I don't know. I've talked about 0.382s and cup and handles is typically the max. We said that even back in April. Here's the cup and handle. Here's the handle. Well, look what it held. People were like, oh, you've got 20/20 vision looking backwards. It's like, no. Go study that with cup and handles. They usually 0.382 max. Well, could it get down to the 50% fib temporarily? Like, I'm talking about days, hours? Yeah, it could. Now what? That's what I'm saying. At worst, people are like, oh, you missed the bottom. Yeah, because I don't want to chase it. There was no volume. There's no capitulation. Anyone who's telling you gold is safe when the market gets wiped out is lying to you. They're blatantly looking you in the eye and lying. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. Because the truth is what? Nothing is safe. If you're trying to play the outlier, what's going to be safe? No. The only thing safe is housing. People need a house to live in. They're going to, again, if they can't afford, they're renting and your rents go up. That's all. It's a different area in the market, so a lot of things I haven't dealt with in the past is going to happen this time. What do you mean, things I haven't dealt with? It's a different area in the market, so a lot of things you haven't dealt with in the past is going to happen this time. What does that mean? No, not at all. The market is a repeating pattern machine. It's a liquidity-driven game. Without liquidity, there is no markup. Do not get that twisted. Livermore started acknowledging and studying this stuff in the 20s, 30s, the 1900s. It's all repeating patterns. It's just faster with more, what? Information. Lying to yourself to say it's different this time. Because that's honestly how you know it's not. That's like the ring the bell at the top. It's different this time. Oil is going away. It's different this time. Did you not remember hearing that after COVID? It's a different error. It's different this time. Oil is going... No, it didn't. Those are ringing bell words that trigger what? Insanity. People don't realize it. It's this time gold is going... All right. Do you want to trade the one-off probabilities? Because again, if gold all of a sudden resets overnight, do you think it's a one-day event? I'd rather be late than early to this stuff because, again, I'm not going to fight the probabilities. You're going to tell me, what? It's different this time. Well, it's, again, same people who bet on the end of the world. It never ends. But that's their bet. Well, no, that's insane. Don't do that. Can you speak seasonality? Trader Almanac midterm election since 19... Yeah. Again, that's the seasonality. But just like today in the Almanac, it was bullish. What is today? Blood red. You got to know what kind of market you're in. The Feds have never navigated a soft landing. How do you bet on a bullish market when the Feds have never navigated a soft landing? They're going to QT. They put unlimited quantitative easing on forever. At some point, even if it continues, look at the Japanese stock market. They peaked in the 80s and 90s, I think, whatever. Never came back. Once you price in the best, guess what? That's the end of the bubble, and it takes for a while to price out. That's why I keep telling people, like, you were holding the SPY. These idiots on freaking FinTwit. Oh, just dollar cost average into the SPY. Wrong. No. Because at some point, what? It will pull back. Big. Oh, but you have to get higher? No. I'd rather take my profits. Again, like any trade, the more you're up, the less you own. If you are holding the SPY because your dollar cost averaging up here, you, my friend, are probably not going to enjoy how it feels long term. Livermore didn't predict the memes, though, and the retail movement is actually making an impact on the market. Just like how... No, wrong. There's always been momentum names. No, I don't even know what to say. That's just crazy to think that there's never been names like this where everybody piled into them because they thought they were going to outsmart the market. This is not new. Just like how AIMS is going to take over in the crash market. No. What are you drinking? What are you smoking? The market is meant to take your money. That's like going into the casino and yelling and screaming that you're actually not winning. Wrong. I bet on 12 sports game and lost all of them. I want my money back. Bookie, you're playing on a casino. Thanks, Scott. You're playing in a casino. Shut up. Stop whining. You're not changing the game. You're not the market makers. Apes are not the market makers. Create your own indexes if you want to, and your own exchanges if you actually want to make the market. The goal is to take your money. That is absolute, complete, utter stupidity to believe that, Gollum. But again, the best advertisement for higher prices is higher prices. Well, guess what? What happens when it's over? And you're going to tell me that this isn't over? You're going to tell me this isn't over? This is a pump and dump. Look at this. It's called pump and dump. No, I don't think this is a troll. I think this is someone genuinely believes the crap they read. This is called a pump and dump. Looks just like EXPI. Looks like every other pump and dump. This isn't trollish. This is like what people are wired to believe. Again, the market's meant to take your money. They want you to hold forever. Why? So you don't sell until the bottom. If you can't think like that, then again, whatever you believe, Livermore market, no, it doesn't matter. It's the same game. In the 1990s, the dot-com bubble, the ultimate bubble before this was what? You have to hold these names because technology is the future. The internet is the future. No shiitake mushrooms. It was obviously the future. But guess what? Those stocks went zing, kapow. And 90% of them blew up or got bought out. Same thing in the 2000s. Housing stocks, oil stocks, bank stocks. Zing, going to the moon. Houses only can go up forever. We're running out of oil, right? Banks are going to mint money in this era. Zing, kapow. There's always, that's the thing. I mean, the goal of the market maker is what? Like, think about it. That's why I always tell you, like, stocks are just paper. They don't mean anything. They only go up if someone's willing to pay more. Well, if you're trying to convince people to buy Meme stocks? It's because you're in the hole. And they have no value. I'm sorry. None of them. Just look at US Steel, letter X. We talked about that earlier. It trades at a 1 PEE. PEE. Yikes. What is value? I mean, for companies with no earnings, no outlook other than what? Hey, me and 1,000 other buddies at Wall Street Bets are all going to sit around and pretend that we can push a stock up forever. I don't know what people are smoking. I do not know what people are smoking to believe that stuff. Because again, I've seen this multiple times. Oh, you can't compare the meme stocks. There's always been this. There's always been these names that people what? Believed in. Should you not DCA with your retirement 401k? No, absolutely not. No. Buy the dips. I always tell people, like, the more you're up in your retirement accounts, the less you own. So when dips come, you can buy them. And this is my biggest concern, that we turn into the Nikkei. We go all in liquidity forever. And then you get this. You get this. An aging population, and you get tons of issues. I don't know, man. It's just people don't know. You get this epic blow-off. Remember, we talked about the dollar. Blow-off of blow-offs. Here was the Nikkei. And now it's 20, 30, 40 years later. 30 years plus. Only a strong dividend can keep the share price up. Wrong. No. Why do people believe the crap they're told? Financial education is to rob you. There is none. Dividends. What happens in a bear market? Companies that have huge dividends, what happens? They cut their dividends. Or they borrow more money. And guess what? If you are lending them money, guess what you do as a hedge? You short the crap out of their stock. That's what you do to hedge that. Because again, what's the best thing? Inflation will put dividends under pressure. Oh man, someone sold people uncertainty. A bear market resets everything. It wipes people and everything out. Now again, some dividend stocks will hold up. No one's going to argue with that. But do you want to go into cash, short, whatever you need to do, and then come out of it and look for the next winners? Dividend stocks are dinosaurs typically. Now again, if you want to buy dividend stocks, just buy a bond. It's the same thing. Some dividend stocks, yeah, great. But you're playing what? With fire. Because if the economy is in a recession, these dividends will get cut. When the dividend get cut, now what? What's the real value? Lower. That's all. Yeah. I mean, I have these conversations. Where do I need to hide? Well, guess what? That's why the stock market sucks. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. That's why I'm like, hide in housing. People need a place to live. They don't need AMC. They don't need your dividend stock. They don't need J&J. They don't need Procter and Gamble. Now they need those products. They're considered inelastic, but doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to tank. Who knows what happens afterwards? That's always the hardest part. Hindsight's 20/20. But why would I hold stocks? Just to hold them. Again, you're playing, this is a casino. You're sitting here and go, well, I just need to hold. Holding just to hold gets you what? Murdered at some point. I mean, oh man. You know, I always talk about, people are like, I don't know what the dividend yield is on T, but I've heard about AT&T. Buy and hold this thing forever. The dividend. Great. If you did not sell this in 2000, you've been just holding a perpetual bond that goes actually lower. What's another one? And now Procter and Gamble, I'm pretty sure that one's been on fire. But what's the yield? Right? What's the yield? I don't know. But this thing will pull back, right? It does in a bear market. It does. Do y'all see this? It's not safe. 100%. I hope it holds up for people with the dividends, because a lot of people in there. But what if all of a sudden they get sued by somebody? What if they do something wrong? J&J. I mean, I can't. Here you go. Flop. But here's the hardest part. Do you guys understand the law of large numbers? Do you understand the law of large numbers, right? Like, how much can J&J grow? It becomes essentially a bond. That's all it becomes. I would rather, if you have to hold it, fine, but don't be surprised. I mean, I'd sell covered calls, honestly. Yeah, P&G's like yield during a bear market. I think it peaks out at like usually 5 or 6%. 2.44 implies that it could get a little hosed. Yeah, Coke, KO, that's another one. That's a Buffett favorite. But do you know why? He's printing money off of these things. You guys aren't. If you're not selling covered calls and you're just holding blindly, look at that. 1990s, 2000s. I don't know what the yield's on this. Mo, 8%. Yeah, it's smoking. Oh, smoking. Oh, that's a good trend to bet on. If you're in a recession, what's one of the first things you're going to cut? Cigarettes. Try to. The dividend yield. Do y'all get this? That's safe? No, they weren't safe. 2008. 2000. Drop. It's just a matter of how big of a drop. That's why I keep telling the trade is to short or move to cash and just wait. Because think about what cash is. People hate cash, but it's no different than me loving cash for real estate. Once you find a spectacular deal, I can act. If you're all in the market, as the market dumps, you cannot shop for deals. You have nothing. You're just sitting here, what? Scratching your head, pretending what? Oh, I'll buy that. You're not going to find the next Tesla hiding out in Mo and owning all these dividend stocks. Now, again, if you need the dividend and you're willing to lose the dividend because the stock drops that seems kind of silly because what is it? You're breaking even. Yeah, patience is absolutely hard. It's absolutely hard. People are like, well, what if the feds go unlimited liquidity and the market goes higher? I mean, then you can just buy it then. That shouldn't matter where. But just be aware, if the Nikkei, if we get this is like a blow off that goes into a depression, recession, stock recession, because again, the stock market is not the economy. In 2008, GDP contracted 6%. The market dropped 60%. Not the same. So please, if you are all of a sudden trying to pretend you're an economist, again, how many rich economists do you know? How many bloody rich, stupid rich economists do you know? None. What's the best place to buy and rent in Europe? I don't know. Cardboard box? I mean, a barn? I don't know. I really don't know. And again, Europe, I mean, they don't do... What does Europe make anymore? Italians make olive oil. Greeks make olive oil. French, nuclear power. English muffins. Crepe. I mean, French crepes, food. I mean, I don't know. There has to be a reset to get these countries to wake up. I don't know. Again, the United States, maybe we're going down that path. But again, would you rather own or rent for the next 20 years? What is your interest rate on renting? Does anyone have a guess what the interest rate on renting is? Do you know what the interest rate is? If you are renting, what is the interest rate on renting? Just wonder if people know this. It's a very obvious answer. What is the interest rate if you are renting versus current interest rates? Interest rate on renting is 5%. No. One more guess. Anybody? What is the interest rate if you are renting? 35%? No. It's 100% You are paying all interest. You don't get any equity. When you pay someone else's mortgage, you get zero equity. You are paying an interest rate of 100%. Always joke with people. They don't get that. I would rather own turds than to pay someone else's mortgage. Now, let's not exaggerate turds, but I'd rather own a house that might not appreciate versus near term versus pay someone else's mortgage. That's the interest rate on renting. It's always 100%. Don't ever forget that. Don't let anyone sell you on it differently. You are paying 100% interest and you get zero equity. Anyone have any real questions? Yeah, that's why it's like real estate. If people aren't buying it, interest rates go higher. That's why in the 70s and 80s in the United States, interest rates went from what? Nothing up to almost like 18 to 20%. Housing doubled and tripled because, again, if you could not afford to buy, you rented, and people were not selling their houses because they're like, oh, I can't afford a higher interest rate. Bazing, higher. What is the bounce on QQQ level? It's a good question. Oh boy, here we go. Here's the bust out the crystal ball moments. Like, what do I think? Well, if this is wave 3, what's the near-term support? I think I said this earlier in the video. It's probably somewhere in the, let me zoom this in a little closer on the daily. I mean, you're going to fill that gap at 314. I mean, 302. Now, this is a wide range. This is what's hard. 302 to like the 100-day, 310. That would be my guess. I mean, we're not going to, I mean, once you break the 20-day, remember, what is a professional gap? Do you guys watch the Back to Basics? Do you know what a professional gap is? Just curious, anybody who's asking this question, do you know what a professional gap is and what it means? Say versus novice gap. Do you know what a professional gap is? A professional gap, what? Starts the move. Professionals, the start of the move. Novice gaps are traps. That's what's up. What do we talk about? Here's a professional gap on the Qs, right? Y'all remember this? Yeah, starts the new trend. Well, where did it, again, it hit support. Well, guess what? There was your support, right? You look to the left, you see this like 340s and it held there, but it barely bounced. Well, let's look at where's the support, right? It's going to be somewhere in this choppy crap, right? We not agree? Y'all see that? How do you identify if it was a novice or professional? Well, you anticipate it. Here we go. We talk about 3-gap trap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, big. Now that was a panic, right? We're not in panic. I don't think we are. VIX is in the 20s. No. No. How do you identify? Well, watch the video, Back to Basics. But again, it's usually at inflection points, right? You would anticipate bounces down here, right? And again, most people don't. They're not even charting the market. They're literally just listening to what every other idiot are saying. And so it's like lemmings follow lemmings. You want to get stuck in the crab pot? You can't get out. You just have to look at, yeah, I mean, where you're at in the trend. Professional gap starts it. Professional gap starts it. Doesn't mean you can't rally back later. That's what we talked about. You got to be careful. You just don't know. But a professional gap starts the trend. Intraday, I don't know. I don't really care. For everybody who's new or just saying, we've been shorting up here. I could care less. If the trend is down and this is a bear market, and that was a bear market rally. Remember, the average bear market rally, 17.4%. I think we rose 17.6%. We're going lower. I just don't know when. It's not going to be in a straight line every day. It's not. How far do you think Microsoft will drop near term? How far do you think Microsoft will drop? Let's see if you have, let's see if we're looking at things similarly. Hope it retests so we can add more. No, retest what? The highs? Not happening. Not happening. If it's a bear market, it ain't going to retest the exact highs. Like, these are professional gaps. This is the start of the move. There's no coming back from this. This is game over. If you don't know what game over means, here, close at the lows, professional gap higher, game over for the bears. Game over for the bulls. Game over for the bulls, right? Novice gap. Game over for the bears. Multiple gaps, professional gaps, game over. Do y'all see how this works? Yes, my last video said that it could, but guess what? Today, I did not predict today, right? You have to be flexible. You have to be flexible. End game for the hedgies? No, hedge funds, no, they don't ever end. Why are you saying this, apes? You novice. What are you smoking? All of you and you folks who think the hedge funds will end. No, if hedge funds ends, you are ending. That's how it works. Jesus. Unreal. The market makers are going to take your money. So do you see, Scott, you have to be mentally flexible. Like, the evidence presents itself. Just like up here, we said this is probably a novice gap, but it could go higher. And so when we stopped out on some shorts from here, hey, it could still go higher. Let's just wait. You're so close to the what? The 200-day. Again, you have to be mentally flexible. If you're looking for certainty in an uncertain game, you are, again, people are like, oh, you just don't know what you're talking about. No, there is no certainty. The best institutions and traders in the world win 87, 85% of the time. We win into 80% as well. And guess what? I never sit here and go, this is how it has to work out. This is what it has to do. And this is what's right. No, you have to be flexible. The evidence changes. This gap says what? Game over. Now, it doesn't mean it couldn't rally later into the Jackson Hole meeting. But you have to remember that. Yes, I said it probably will, probably not. You don't know that. You see how I always tell people, the more you're up, the less you own. And when you're layering into your short positions, all or nothing trading is gambling. I wish I could tell you the exact high was going to be the 200-day, but it looked like it was this. That was the candle. And then it went higher. You got stopped out. And then you started watching, reloading. Do I see the gaps fill? If this is wave 3 down, all of the gaps are filling down. This is a bear market rally that just ended, folks. Good night. Good night. Game over. Game over. Right? Novice gap, gap down, game over. Game over. That's not a gap, but that's just game over. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, people are holding on to... People who are new, I get it. People who've been here, explain to them. You have to use sentiment as a gauge for what? The market maker's setting traps. They're trying to take our money. Do you not realize, like, this game is not to pay you. It's a casino. It's to take your money. It's to take my money, your money, Kieran's money, everybody on this chat. And they're doing a hell of a great job. And when the sentiment is bullish at the highs, promising what? Endless higher highs, that is a red flag. People who are new don't realize we started buying down here because we said gaps are the extremes after a big down move. And then you hit support and you gapped. That was like, keep an eye on this. And all it did was retest, went higher. We were bullish for most of July and June after that bottom. Now I'm bearish, and people are, again, it's the same thing. At the lows, do you not remember in May and June? The world's ending, market's going to zero, game over, sentiment, wash out, everybody's bearish, scared, FinTwit, all bearish. Then what happened? Rallied. What is FinTwit now? Bullish, 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 ape, 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 bullish, 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 ape, ape, ape. You're again, you hope for a retest, but you can't assume it. My guess is down with a higher, lower high at some point. 421 would be the max upside on any pop, in my opinion. Why? Why? I think you can see it. What is it, the point? Let me do it on the weekly. Sorry about ugly charts. It's just, I don't trade on this computer. This is just purely for what? Recording. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. 50% fib, the 460 or 421. Also notice how it was the point of control somewhere in the 420s. Does that make sense? Look at this candle on the weekly. Goodbye. And not meaning good, like a goodbye, like goodbye. Is this helpful for newer folks? Because again, I think a lot of people don't get the game. Again, stop by the Discord room. I have tons of endless content to help you understand what the heck is going on. Tons of this stuff. I always tell people, don't realize this is the rules of trading. If you don't understand it, read it. That's that simple. It's to what? It's to get you to lose. Here's the seasonality, all the stuff, notes, options trades. Here's my trading sheets. Back to basics. There's 50 videos in there. In-depth analysis of trades. You are telling you have an eye on one off of the miners. Should the not all go the same way? This is like one-on-one coaching. I'll answer that. So you're talking about AEM, T-Van? Is that what your question is, referring to AEM? I remember earlier people were like, what is going on with the market? Just let it breathe. Let it breathe. I would say AEM. Yeah, you had volume at the bottom. That doesn't necessarily mean what? That's where the market makers were acting. Puking. Notice endless down. Chop. Endless chop. All right, well, again, do you want to be early in this stuff? I don't. I mean, you have to remember, every trade comes with an opportunity cost. If you're long AEM and the market does what? Tanks? Would you have rather shorted, particular names, or would you rather have just held on to AEM? Would you rather head on to dividend stocks or shorted Apple, QQQ, Tesla, Microsoft, all of these SMH, all of these stocks that have literally run to the top of the hill, crest, whatever, the Himalayas, and turning over? Do you want to hold long AEM when the market's turning over? You have only so much cash. You can't do everything. Hold AEM, I guess. I mean, that's your play, not mine. I'll be there when it gets there, and if I'm late, guess what? I don't feel like I missed anything, because FOMO is a real, and y'all don't realize FOMO is what? It is ultimately the biggest problem in trading, because fear of missing out also means fear of making a decision. I just want to let it run. I just want to not think. Let me put it in a financial advisor's hands, because if they lose money, well, guess what? At least it wasn't my fault. That's what the markets want you to do, and if you don't understand the game, guess what? You're going to get what the game always gives you, which is mediocre results. These folks are holding these meme stocks, going to get blown out. Dividend stocks going to get washed, maybe a little washed out, depending on if it's a wrong if you buy the wrong dividend stock, oh God. Maybe if you buy the dividend ETF, it pulls back 10 or 20%, but is it worth the 5 or 6% yield this year? No. You still lost 15%. Do y'all see the whole point of this? Like, again, newer folks just don't get it. Like, stop by the Discord and we talk about this. There's tons of insights on how to understand the market, because if you are doing what everyone else is doing, you're not going to get rich. That's why I'm telling people, if you want to get rich, buy real estate as interest rates go higher, because at some point, everybody who bought in the 70s and 80s for houses for $100,000 were selling them for $1 million in the 2000s. And then if they held them through then, they probably were multi-millions. It's so obvious. All right, well, if you still have junior minors, what do you think is going to happen? Do you not remember what happened during COVID? Do you remember that smash? Here you go. Gold was holding up pretty well during COVID. The minors went from 46 juniors down to 19. Do you want to hold that? I don't think I want to hold that. Because we're not even into the panic goodbye mode. Right? This is like just slow death. We're just in the slow death GDX not time. And look, you broke the trend line, you broke the 20-day. Do you want to hold that? That seems crazy when you start looking at it without a bias. That looks crazy to me. If you told me, Dan, buy this and hold, I would look at you, or you would look at me and go, what is the evidence to hold? Yeah, you can't short, but you're going to hold that? Thinking you're going to lose less money? No. And I'm slapping myself because it just makes me laugh. And not because I'm laughing at you, because I've done that before. I have been there going, well, I'm going to hold the minors. I'm going to hold the minors and really hope that I just outperform. Because gold's a hedge. No. Again, the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater when the market peels and the onion starts making people cry. You have to remember that. There's nothing safe. Stop telling yourself that, because again, I don't know who's telling you that. What institution says the markets are safe? Markets only go up. I mean, good luck holding them. I feel bad because if someone's in here who's been around, I know a lot of people are working and doing stuff, because I don't advise people day trade. You don't need to. If you held minors at the wrong times when everybody told you, you got murdered just like I did. And you guys don't realize I cut my teeth in gold and silver in the minors. That's what I went to after what? After the 2000s, because that's what went on an absolute run into 2008. The miners were nice. So was metals. It was more like gold. That's what the ultimate trade. But point being, what? The 2011 to 2018, 19 were extremely difficult. But guess what? Inflation was still there. Everything that should be fundamentally correct about these names going higher did not happen. So when is the best time to buy? I say this every time. Wait for the capitulation. They will throw all these names in the trash. And so if you're sitting there with cash, you just go shopping for your favorite things. Just like in real estate right now with higher interest rates, people are going to give up People are going to listen to the news, and then all of a sudden you can see a house that you saw for $500,000 now selling at $4, and you offer them $375. And then you sit on it and you rent it out and you cash 10% cash flow, and then next year it's 12%, then it's 15%, and it's 18% as you raise rates. Oh, what's up, B. Connor? You told me I was the one who, I think you remembered specifically, you said I missed gold, the gold bottom. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just trying to make you evidence-based. It's coming back down. What are your thoughts on drip? Again, what's the easier trade? Could someone else answer that? Like, would you rather own drip or the SQQ? Who are you following, though? Oh, I thought it was Bob Connor. Okay, well, we have that picture saved. Lupus loves saving pictures of people who just trash what we say, and then it happens later. Yeah, you'd want to own SQQ versus the drip. Now, again, I think drip has value in the sense that XOP could be peaking. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, again, you don't chart this stuff. You go look at what? The XOP. Right? Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, there was a B. Connor that was trashing us on gold. It was just funny to me. I'm like, all right, watch and see. Yeah, XOP. If you like the drip, I mean, this is probably the area to look. This is what's funny. I'm going to end this on Occidental because I think people just... I could be wrong in this, but I'm about pretty 99% sure I'm going to be right. What is this? A lower high? Is that a blow off with volume? Do you think Buffett really wants it to go higher, or do you think he wants his dividend and sell covered calls? I said this earlier in the video. If I'm Buffett, I'm like, market makers, you're done. Oh, and 50% of the stock. Watch this. Y'all take a break. You go run the market for AMC. I'm going to sell endless calls because I control the stock, and I'm not going to let it get above there. And I want my free money selling calls. Because think about the IBs on today or yesterday or Friday. Think about the implied volatilities. What do you think Buffett was doing over the weekend? Drinking a Coke? Hey, boys, look at how much I got paid for the 70 calls all the way out to December. I know he doesn't talk like that. I got paid $10. I got paid $6. I don't know what the options were worth. But do you not sit there and he's like, I am putting that in my pocket, and then when the stock drops, I'll buy more. Nope. There are a lot of European gold and silver mine people. I follow 3 of them. They all tell me the same, buy and accumulate. I'm not going to tell you to not buy physical gold and silver. I think that's smart. But to buy the mines right now, I think you got to wait for the baby to go out with the bathwater. Is it confirmed that there's a bear market? If this is wave 3 down, do you guys remember? Does anybody... God, I could go on teaching forever. Does anyone remember 2008? Does anyone remember 2008? Like, how many people have been trading for have at least seen one bear market? How many people here? There's not a lot of people here, so I'm going to guess 1. And that's just me. No, there's probably a few. Okay, cool. What do we remember about 2008? When did the pain start? August of 2008. Kapow. Repeating pattern, seasonality. Now you had the first bottom in October, right? We talked about. Then it went a little lower. But look at the volume. That was like the market makers were like, yeah, that's cool. We'll take anything under 100. Yeah, everyone got destroyed. Why does anyone not remember? Like, wait for the destruction. Wait for the destruction. That's the capitulation we're waiting for. We are not there. A bear market does not end on a bunch of cuddly kissing bear market rally bullcrap. It ends with everyone wants to slit their wrist. Everybody hates stocks. You're going to be told stocks, just like oil in 2020, never should be bought again. The worst asset class in history. Those are the headlines you want. But somehow now we're at the bottom? We've capitulated? No. Started in August was like the joke, and it was like, zhzh. And the only reason I remember that so well because I was in that, but also look what oil did. They kept touting the never-ending oil going higher. We're running out of supply. Oil was just never-ending touted. Look at that. June, July, gabam. Do y'all see this? How, again, the psychology is not meant to help you. The news, the mainstream media, the FinTwit folks. I swear to God, go check out StockTwits, and I guarantee 60% of the posters there are bots. How many of the FinTwit people are bots? How many of the people that you follow don't give two craps how you do? They just want your money. They want you to pay for a service. That's what they want. I'm giving away this stuff for free because it works. I don't give a crap. You don't need to pay me. I appreciate donations. I love that because then it means you have now invested in me, and I will watch and make sure you don't fail. I will drag your ass to winning because I will not let you make the mistakes that I've made. I mean, again, think about it. I've been trading for 20 years. I barely survived sometimes, but every time my iterations after, I learned big lessons because I am a naturally A-type aggressive who wants to always win. I realize now I'm just like, I just want to do okay. No. Circuit breakers everywhere. That's what the market is. If you think the market's here to pay you, again, think about in 2021, the Fed said that we're not going to own stocks anymore. They literally said it in the fall of 2021. Do you think they care to support the market anymore? No, they don't have anything invested in it. Any more questions? Again, I could go on and tell you about my experiences and how hard trading is and why most people fail. But look at the statistics. 90% of traders fail. Do you want to day trade? Nope. Nope. I'll scalp here and there, but do I want to day trade? Nope. I don't want to do low probability crap. Well, if there's sometimes not swing trades, again, look at the seasonality. We talk about this stuff. FOMO. Oh, I gotta hold stocks. Okay. CNBC. I don't watch CNBC. I literally never watch CNBC. Why would I? Just like the weekend. How many people here in the Discord room posted stuff? I told you I read zero of the news. I looked at the headlines and go, okay, I don't care. Think about why. Protect your mind. Be evidence-based. This is why I do this, to show you the evidence. If all of a sudden you go from here and go read CNBC, go read Bloomberg, go talk to people on FinTwit, and you blindly ignore the evidence, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you're not evidence-driven, then what? You're relying upon someone else to understand the market. You need to be the manager of your own emotions in trading, not some twit on FinTwit. I mean, the irony of the names of this stuff. Do y'all see that? Now, again, I'm preaching to nobody, and guess what? I'm fine with that, because as soon as we get big, gone. Everything will become private. Because I don't need everybody copying my crap. And there's already people who do, and they don't even give me shout-outs, which is hilarious. If you're watching, you know who you are. I just laugh. If you really think you're smart, again, I have always credited everybody who's given me information and who's mentored me. Because I don't want to pretend I'm some genius. And I know most of these folks who pretend to be, they're not. They're just reformed losers like I was at some point. Everyone starts and ends in the same place. You either quit or you get better and you get better and you get better. Hope that helps, friends. Please be safe out there. Stop gambling. I'm telling you. If you think you're going to beat the market by doing what everyone else is doing, wrong. That's like going to the casino, sitting down, grabbing a beer, and playing blackjack and betting the same amount every time. No, who wins at blackjack? The people who count cards and know how to run systems to put the odds in their favor, not the freaking idiot who bets the same amount. Varying your bet is 99.9% of winning. Because the probabilities are never in your favor if you play the game like they want you to. Does that make sense? The key is how to vary your bet. It's nothing different. It's the same thing at poker. You wait patiently for pocket aces. You bet it accordingly, and you could still lose. There's nothing here. If you're looking for certainty in trading, take your money out of the market and be done with it. Because you will never find certainty. The best traders in the world, the best institutions, still only win at an 80% clip. You think at home that you're going to beat them by doing what everyone else does? No. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for, give credit where it's due. I mean, I don't care, ultimately. I guess they say the, most sincere form of flattery is imitation. That's cool. I just hate when people rip stuff and you can tell, like, they're just, you ever heard game recognize game? Like, I know if you're full of crap. I know if you pretend like you know what's going on. Yeah, no problem. You guys have a great day. Again, stop by the Discord room. Link is in the description below. And if you're not learning and educating, It's no different than grabbing a basketball and thinking you're going to be able to play in the league versus LeBron. You got to practice. You got to have the fundamentals. You got to know how the markets work. Because if you don't, you're going to lose, and they're going to kick your butt every time. Later, y'all. Be safe. I promise you. Like, don't be these all or nothing trading. Get rid of FOMO, the mental part. There's notes on all the mental part of this. You can go through and see 4 pages of what I used to talk in my head and how it screwed me over. Peace.